Hello everyone, and welcome back to another The Most Forbidden Love in the World video. I don't really have much to say, so let's continue on with Osamu's new job. Okay. Load? Sorry to bother you with this, but could you align it with the corner? I'm sorry for making you go all that way. I like to have one of those on each side. Of course, we were the ones who barged into your office with hardly any notice. I'm glad there was any space for us at all. Oh no, it's Himeo. Good morning. She already has an attitude. I can see you're already living on an executive's timetable. A glance at the clock revealed it to be almost 11 in the morning. It had been 3 hours since I myself arrived at the office. What on earth are you talking about? Your desk is right here. You see? Well, there isn't much else I can say other than this is how it is. The office boasted 100 or so identical desks, each a pinnacle of craftsmanship, prioritizing sheer functionality over aesthetics. I took care of that myself. I felt we could carry a conference table in there at one point, to turn the place into a project room of sorts. A small company like ours cannot afford to waste such a good room on someone merely fooling around. In any case, this has already been by the managing director herself. You, in other words. I fear it's a tad too late to be backing out now. Her face turned blue as she skimmed through the handwritten approval document that I dangled in front of her eyes. I see. So she at least remembered the overall appearance of the paper. I believe the soonest I can prepare that is around 3 a.m. No, I'd say that by itself is a commendable thing. Before you leave, I was hoping you could check 1. Well, actually 2. Or 3. 8 papers. It is not harassment. These are simply documents which require your approval, due today in fact. With your signature, once you've confirmed their contents and decide whether you agree or not, of course, if you have any questions, try calling the person in charge for an explanation. That depends on you, on who you talk to. If you're signing it as formality, then 1 minute. If you actually want to pore over every detail, let's say roughly 3 hours. It's 6 p.m, so you might have to go home a bit late tonight. I must ask that you decide that yourself. If you insist that I give my opinion on the matter, I'll probably recommend you look over these documents in detail. As I said a second ago, please decide that for yourself. And if you are planning to go home earlier after all, I would appreciate if you could handle Mitoko's tutoring for the day. I believe I won't be able to make it in time. Since she wanted to go home right away, she signed my crudely written proposal without so much as a second glance. As for why those papers were kept from her until the late hour and by whom, well, that information was surely of a little too little consequence to be mentioned right now. Our real estate department will end up having to handle more and more new projects from the Sawashima as time passes. Before long, we're going to need a project room. This is for your sake as well. You will understand soon. A clueless girl fresh from college forced upon us by the parent company that bought us and is effectively trying to take over. You ended up in a corner, but it's marked as an executive space, so you have nothing to worry about. The impression of the other employees currently had of her was not exactly something I dared to repeat to her face. Look, you have 2 cabinets on both sides of your desk, and even a special box on top of it to hold the papers you need to sign. So, if you could tone it down to at least something along the lines of a strange girl who worked with everyone in the same room despite being an executive, it would be, my desk is going to be next to yours, meaning you'll be able to give me orders right away, just like before. You proved it yourself. Those are the rules of the company. Oh yeah, Sasaki, thank you. Sasaki, reacting to my meaningful glance, denied his master's cry for help without as much as a batting eye. Well, not like I could see through his sunglasses. You could say this is my home turf. For example, there's no way I could win an argument against you over table manners in a high-class restaurant against you. And it doesn't have to be an argument. For an example, if we both volunteer to pick up garbage across town, I believe you would easily seize the initiative. And you should know that the opposite is also true. I feel confident I wouldn't lose against you here, Himeo. I used her first name as Mitoko had demanded on purpose. I needed to show her I had the upper hand here. Now, please take a seat. I will be explaining your schedule for today. Managing her schedule while we were in the office was my job, otherwise it was Mr. Sasaki's. We had established a kind of co-op team before she knew it. However, what? I do believe you are the one who won't be getting away. Oh, she went away. Please wait! Much as I expected, no, even beyond them, she seemed thoroughly unaccustomed to having her pride crushed. Wait, please wait, Himeo! I apologize for all the insolent things I have done, however, please be aware of this. Sooner or later, the company will retaliate against you, and there's simply no way to avoid that. The reason for that is simple. Likely in the spur of the moment, you have taken a job that far exceeds your current expertise and experience. As a child of a grand entrepreneur, she may have received a certain kind of special education for running a business. As such, she was most certainly more capable of doing this than your average university student. You still underestimate the hurdles of society. But that only meant she was better than her peers. Actually, if I just took all my words and made a stew out of them, all we would be left with at the bottom of the cooking pot would be 2 words: ignorance and naivety. So when I saw her make a face like that, Himeo, I could no longer bring myself to use her last name. I could guess that to an extent. It was no example, but something that must have already happened once in the past. Helen Keller? Mother Teresa? I've read about those peoples myself. Their biographies possess the power to touch the hearts of children. One could read them and come away wanting to contribute to the world. And amongst those children, there were a few who would actually decide to act on those feelings and go further than most. That explained why she had made all her donations anonymously since then. She didn't want to be thanked for something that required next to no effort on her part. I feel like I just heard the true Himeo for the first time. Yeah. And that, in a sense, historically experienced answered one of my questions.
今後は気をつけなさい。私だってあなたの破滅を望んでるわけじゃない。
The same question that no doubt plagued her heart more than anything else. Its answer ever elusive precisely because it concerned her.
分かった？
I realized that pointing it out here might deeply wound her. Ooh, wait, what? What am I asking her? Oh, I'm hit with a question that, oh man, back down, make her realize what? Oh man, okay. The same question that no doubt plagued her heart more than that. Okay, but I advise you very carefully. Okay, and as in the sense of certain experience question, what am I I don't know what to pick. Back down or make her realize. Do I wound her or do I just back down? I don't know. She's been kind of an asshole lately. But I mean, she's only doing it to care for Mitoko. But I don't know if it's a bad decision. Okay. I want to do the second option, so I'm gonna save. Okay. I'm gonna pick make her realize. But I had to tell her. Otherwise, a person like her would not realize it for the rest of her life. Himeo.
何よ、しつこいわね。
Oh, the music changed. If you remain like this, you will never be able to get Mitoko to rely on you, no matter how hard you try.
なんですって？
Oh shit. Himeo's face contorted for a split second. It seems as though she had gritted her teeth so hard she bit through the flesh of her mouth and filled it with blood. Her momentary expression looked that painful. My example was terrible, but that was really what it looked like. I do not know how easy a life you had led up to this point. But the world is a tough place for people like Mitoko and myself. I was cut off. Mitoko had been left behind. In one moment, we would give up. In another, we'll cling to hope. We could laugh and cry. As such, it would stab at her heart to be saved by you, Himeo. Wow, damn.
私がお金を持ってるのは。
That's not the problem.
じゃあどういうことなのよ。あなたの言ってること全然わからないわよ。
You see, Minako always accepts gifts over which sweat was shed and hands were hurt. Sweat, I think that's what it's. If Himeo had told Minako about how she picked up trash and planted trees, Minako would doubtedly brag about her to everyone as though it was she herself who had done it. She was just that kind of girl. And that was exactly why neither I nor Himeo could bring ourselves to abandon her. Himeo, you can use the power you received from your family for your own sake. But in exchange, could you try to achieve the power that you would use to support Mitoko through your own effort? I would support you to the best of my abilities on that road. Well, not like I could really do anything else, given my official position.
あなた。
So, just let me drive this ship and I promise it will be okay.
何言ってるのよ。今年だけで2回も沈んだ船が。
And it also came right back up 2 times. Well, one of them was thanks to you though. So, you see, I just like you to calm down a little.
席に戻りなさい。
Oh, excuse me?
今は業務時間でしょ。私も少し休憩したらすぐ戻るから。
She's gonna think about it.
何よ。
It's nothing.
勝手に帰ったりしないわよ。
With that, she opened the door to the women's washroom at the end of the corridor, hiding her slightly reddish eyes. She's gonna go cry. Oh man. Hopefully Mitoko doesn't slap Osamu for this.
はい、テラスハウス日向坂。あ、姫雄さん、どうしたの？
Oh,
もう
she
晩ご
called
飯
Mitoko.
遅刻？
Okay.
ごめん、本当にごめんなさい。友達に頼まれたバイトが終わんなくてさ。ちょっとしたジムのバイト、コピー取りとかお茶組みとか簡単な仕事なんだけどね。普通なら定時に上がれるはずだったんだけどね。なんか役員？偉い人が来て会議になっちゃってさ。
I'm sorry.
そっか。じゃあ遅くなるね。食事は、そう。じゃあラップかけとく。仕方ないよ。友達に頼まれたんならさ。 ヒメオさん人良すぎってのは言わない方向で。うん、先に食べとく。それじゃあ頑張ってね。今日は一人か。なんか久しぶりだな。
It's so sad seeing Mitoko alone. So, you cannot go home because someone's important wasn't letting you? I wonder if she was thinking of me.
人が電話してる最中に声を出すんじゃないわよ。トコちゃんに聞かれたらどうするつもりなのよ。
Well, I just do my job regardless of who my superior is.
私が構うのよ。いい？二度とあんな真似は慎みなさいよ。
Understood, Managing Director. Are you sure though? Wasn't it your turn to tutor her today? Today was Thursday, the day we agreed would belong to Himeo.
一日の遅れくらい、トコちゃんには何ともないわよ。
Well, that's true. After all, Thursday was originally the day when Mitoko wouldn't receive any tutoring at all.
それに、今日は11時出勤だから20時までいないと定時にならない。
Thank you for your understanding. Office hours didn't really exist for executives, nor were they paid for overtime and vacations. You could say they had it the worst. Depending on the person, they potentially worked 24 hours for all 365 days of the year. Damn. But I wasn't planning to force such responsibility or hardships on her. I merely wanted her to have a taste of an average office worker's life.
それにしても、
What is it?
みんなこの時間になっても帰らないのね。
It's peak hour for a sales company. I believe most of the people whose seats are empty right now are just doing the rounds.
そうなんだ。
It was almost 8 o'clock in the evening, yet the office felt even more alive than during the morning hours. To tell the truth, this was one of the things I wanted to show her the most. I didn't quite expect it to happen on the very day I decided to change her seat. Working overtime and on the weekends is perfectly normal for people here. If they are not in the office, they are probably with our customers, or you can reach them by phone 24/7.
それって労働基準法第36条に違反してない？
Well, that is what's written in the textbooks, yes, and I believe the people who came up with it were perfectly
だ
right.
ったら
But, well, as unfortunate as it is, it's these very outlaws that make our company move forward. The smaller the company, the more motivated its employees were to help it, and so the violation kept escalating. Well, I am expecting our very own managing director Sawashima to gradually improve the situation as part of that expansion of welfare plan.
そんなに責めなくてもいいじゃない。あの時は何も知らなかっただけなんだから。
No, I genuinely hope that you're able to accomplish that one day.
いつになることやら。
It seemed like she suddenly grew a lot less confident in herself after what had happened earlier today. It was kind of whoa, I really hope she's not a mind reader. Well then, let's take it slow and one step at a time. Here's something we can try.
何するの？
I will make a phone
ど
call
こに？
to your desk.
え、
I picked up a receiver from the closest desk, entered the number of her seat on the keypad, and listened for the ringtone. It's ringing. You should pick it up.
ちょっと。
Today's lesson will be one of the basics that any new employee had to learn on their first week, answering business phone calls. Hurry, you should be able to answer within one ring.
はい。もしもし。
Let me use my phone voice. Oh man, my throat's.
あ、道浜商事です。
Hello, this is Michihama Trading. How may I help you?
え、
That's what you're supposed to say.
そういうことね。
Okay, let's say I called you again. 1, 2, go.
はい、道浜商事でございます。いつもお世話になっております。
I am calling from the Sawashima group. Is Kodao from your 3rd division present right now?
近藤さん。
Kondo. You mean Kondo, I hope.
あ、そうか。
I went against general etiquette to use honorifics for someone from your own company.
近藤でございますね。しばらくお待ちください。保留ボタン。
So what's the name of the person who's looking for Kondo?
あ、
誰か来てる？
おはようございます。
Oh, it's you.
おはようございます。ちょっとすいません。
Who is this?
そこ避けてくれませんか？
何してるんですか、沢島さん。まだ7時半ですよ。
今日は早く帰りたいから早く来ました。その家庭教師が。でも来たはいいんだけど、やることがわからなくて。で、彼、第二秘書に電話して聞いたら、じゃあ僕が行くまで掃除しててくださいって。はい。このモップでいいのよね。まだ何がどこにあるのか。
Oh, she's cleaning?
ちょっと待ってください。いくらなんでも取締役にそんなことお願いできません。でも第二秘書が、お願いですから任せてください。私が後で課長に叱られます。そうなの？やっぱり会社っていろいろ大変なのね。
They sure are, Himeo. They sure are. They sure are.
まあでもこっちにも譲れないものがあるの。これで言いつけをサボって第二秘書の部別の視線を浴びるのだけはどうしても我慢ならない。第二秘書って吉村さんですか？甘い。あなたはあの男の底意地の悪さを知らないのよ。そうだ、どうせなら協力して早く済ませましょう。そうよ、他の人が来る前に終わらせれば誰がやったのかなんてわからないわ。お互いにとっていいことずくめよね。そういう問題なんでしょうか。いいんだってば、やらせてよ。私昔はこういう雑用得意だったのよ。ね、お願い木下さん。大丈夫、そんなに迷惑かけないから。決まりね。それじゃあ床は私に任せて。あなたは机の方をお願い。沢島さん。さあ、ちゃちゃっとやっちゃいましょうよ。ね。
Chop chop.
急いでやってしまいましょう。
たたた。
というわけでして、現在は沢島不動産が開発中の有馬再開発地区の住宅マンション販売を一部でありますが任せていただいております。我が社といたしましても今後は住宅にとどまらずオフィスビルやホテルなどの大型物件も次々と手掛けていきたいと考えております。
なるほど。
I see.
ただどうしても沢島グループ内では末席についたばかりの新参ですので、新規事業への参入は何かと障害も多く。
そうですね。
ですから沢島取締役には今後とも本社に何かと働きかけていただくことで我が社のために尽力していただけたらと願う次第で。お分かりいただけましたかな。
すいません、難しすぎてよくわかりませんでした。特に不動産部の業務内容についてのところ。
そうですか。
Oh my. The facial expression of Director Chief Sasaki, who came in to report the activities of the real estate department once a week, was an odd amalgam of resignation, frustration, and gentle consideration. And who could blame him? He had never met a superior quite like this one, who was causing him no end of frustration and worry. Especially since his young boss acted as one would expect a new and inexperienced employee might, without any sort of wit or expertise.
鷲崎さん。
何でしょうか。
But
よくわからなかったので、担当の方の話を直接伺わせてもらってもいいですか？
this was the best we could do for now. After all, when it all came down to it, no one could really argue that she was still a useless rookie as far as the company was concerned.
お待たせしました。私がこの案件を担当している。
ちょっと待ってください。不動産部営業一課。そうだ、米山さん。米山係長よね。
Yes. I could see the look of self-confidence and defiance return to her features as she turned around to face me.
どうして私の名前を？
別に不思議でもなんともないんですよ。3日前から第二秘書に全員の写真を渡されまして、今一生懸命覚えている最中なんです。
However, she made sure I was the only one to see her bizarre expression as she turned back to the man. She was once again kindness come to life.
そういうことでしたか。
もちろんそれだけのために来てもらったわけじゃないです。この資料少し噛み砕いて教えてもらえませんか？
それは申し訳ありません。
いえ、私の勉強不足です。お忙しいさなかに長時間割いていただくのもなんですから、5分だけお願いします。
わかりました。まずはどこからお話ししましょうか。
She couldn't let her position get to her head, and she needed to display respect towards those older and more experienced than herself. She must also remember the names of her subordinates. Not only was she a good listener, she could also put my teachings into practice. My lady was quite impressive.
第二秘書、あなたさっき人の隣でニヤニヤ笑ってたでしょ。
What? That's not true. I was just impressed.
嘘おっしゃい。私がいつ切れて怒鳴り散らすか内心でワクワクしながら待ち望んでたんじゃないの？
However, it appears she opted to use me as a punching bag to relieve the stress caused by following my suggestions. Mr. Sasaki, please help me. You reap what you sow. Was that your plan all
ほ
along?
んと、あなたって人によって温度差が激しいわね。さすが同じ県内で地域によって気温が全然違う岐阜の人間だわ。
I actually come from the warm area of Mino. At this point, our homeland war had already developed into looking for a ridiculous excuse to forcibly tie complaints together.
まったくもう腹立たしい。
Are you tired?
疲れた？何が？
Tired of bowing your head to various people? I mean, I understand I'm forcing you to do something you're not used to. Up until now, she held people mostly as a hobby and had little experience actually having to act civil out of necessity. I imagine she must have felt incredibly more stressed over this whole ordeal than the average new employee.
またそういうこと言う。あなた私のことどれだけ傲岸不遜な人間だと思ってるのよ。
She came off as pretty conceited when we met for the first time, but well, now I knew it was just a part of her silly plan, so I could neither hold it against her nor feel indignant about it. Actually, her childish attempts at bullying me were so naively charming, I wouldn't bring myself to get worked up over them. Provided you're being honest, I appreciate a bit more civility towards me as well.
だって同期じゃない。それどころか実際には私の方が一日先輩だし。
But if you count the trial period, I will be your senior by a month.
部長を怒らせてクビになったところ、わざわざもう一度雇ってあげたのはどこの誰だったかしら。
I think we're almost there.
だいたい人に協調性を解く前に自分のしでかしたことを思い出すべきなのよね。
I rather we didn't discuss that now.
人に説教ばかり垂れておきながら自分の旗色が悪くなってすぐ逃げるんだから。
到着しましたが。
Are you listening? We're there. We should get a move on, Managing Director.
本当に仕事中は性格悪いわね。トコちゃんがあなたの本性を知ったら思いっきり軽蔑されるわよ。
Minako is not so uncaring as to condemn a person for something like this.
帰ったら覚えておきなさいよ。トコちゃんの前で思いっきり恥をかかせてやるんだから。
Oh no. Anyway, we seriously needed to hurry. Our schedule allows for only 30 minutes in here.
それもそうね。それじゃ行くわよ、佐々木。それに第二秘書。
I'm not sure how to feel about this odd separation of titles.
本当にここでいいんですか?
What's happening? Oddly enough, Mr. Sasaki's voice was laden with uncertainty as he gave the secretary beyond the window a hard look. Of course. Here, you should put this on too, Mr. Sasaki. It's for your safety. You never know what might happen at a place like this.
しかしこれは、お嬢様?
Where are they going? This time, he let out a gasp of bewildered shock as he spotted Himeo reflected in the back mirror. He was acting rather strange today.
ちゃんとつけなさいよ。出ないと連れて行けないわよ。
今から一体どこへ行くつもりなんですか?
Yeah, Sasaki, you're asking the right questions. Where? Shouldn't it be obvious?
ね
現場ですよ。
Huh? This is the Arima development site that Chief Director Washizaki and Chief Clerk Yonazuyama have been talking about.
広いわね。
Up until last year, those were the grounds for one of the Izumigawa manufacturing factories, but it was brought out by the Sawashimas after they moved their workforce overseas.
それくらい知ってるわよ。お父様の命令でいろいろと勉強させられたもの。あまり興味はなかったけど。
Well, it wasn't something girls her age would be particularly thrilled to learn about, regardless of who their fathers were. The largest building you see over there will be a Western-style shopping mall, a huge attraction to the future Arima district, the opening being planned for next autumn, so everyone is a bit in a hurry.
こんな何もないところに買い物客が来るのかしら。
There's going to be a subway connecting this area to the city by April of next year. Getting here from the city center will take no more than 30 minutes at worst.
そういえばそんな話も聞いたような気がする。
You really weren't too interested in all this, were you?
こんな分厚い書類だけ渡されても見る気なんか起きないわよ。遠い国の出来事って考えてた。
You have a point there. A picture was worth 1,000 words. As proof, Himeo's eyes, now that they're seeing things directly, lit up with excited interest.
吉村さん。
What is it? Oh, poor Sasaki. Please hold it in. One needs to be prepared for all kinds of accidents at the construction site, but if you really must, at least remove your sunglasses beforehand.
本当に仕事中は性格悪いですね。
さて、うちの取り扱ってる物件はどこかしら？
Ah, it's the apartment complex you see to the north. I wonder if any of our people are around. I wanted to greet them for men at least.
ここの担当営業は矢島さんだったかな。第二秘書より少しだけ低いけど、かなり長身の人よね。
That's right. Anyways, let's hurry on. I like to check all our construction sites by the end of the week.
人が成果を示したのに評価しないのは社会人としてどうなのかしら。
I am but your subordinate. I would be acting severely out of line by daring to levy praise on you.
こういう時だけ目下のふりして。
どうしてそんなに息が合ってるんですか？こんなコントみたいな状況で。
And who exactly begged me, in a dramatic tone, no less to look after her?
そう、今日もなんだ。
Oh my. And we're still leaving Mitoko alone at home?
仕方ないよ。社長さんに呼び出されちゃったら断れないもんね。けどすごいね。そんな偉い人たちと会議やってるんだ。
大
丈夫。ちゃんと問題集やっとく。今日は152ページまでだったよね。ヒメオさんもまだ最近バイト始めたみたいでなんか忙しそう。平気。ちゃんと部屋の鍵は閉めとくし、ご隠居たちもいるしさ。心配いらないって、ほんと。いい？もう切るよ。仕事頑張ってね。ねえ、おさむくん。で、何時頃帰れそう？いや、そういうんじゃなくて。おやすみ。
Oh my.
社長に無理やり会議に呼び出されましたか？それはどこの私でしょうか？
Then can I go home? If you think you can handle the rest on your own.
構わないけれど、そうしたら私、地球環境対策部の新設を議題に載
Oh
せるわよ。
my. You can go home if you want. I think her mind was on the right track, and that was definitely promising in terms of the future. But right now, forcing it on others with no concrete vision would only make a mess of things. Over the past few weeks we spent together, she finally started to understand how companies functioned. Although, as a result of this, her little attacks against me hit closer and closer to home.
それにしても、この時間に役員会はやめてほしいわよね。どうせこっちに回ってくる役割なんて、本社への陳情団の団長って最初から決まってるのに。
You don't need to look at everything from such a negative angle. Besides, that's a pretty important role as well, one that only you can perform. It was a few minutes past 8. Asking anyone to feel motivated to participate in a meeting this late at night was a bit of a tall order.
そういえば、トコちゃんはなんて？おさむくんなんかもう二度と帰ってくるな。とか嬉しいこと言ってくれたりしなかった？
She was okay with it,
でも？
but she kept repeating that she was alright even when I didn't ask. Yeah. Our shared feeling of guilt led to a long, painful silence.
1時間以内で終わることを祈りましょう。
We must do everything in our power to stop Vice President Yoshitomi from speaking. He tends to ramble on for hours when he forgets himself.
うちのゼミの教授も同じタイプ。もう勘弁してよって面と向かって言ってやりたい。
I imagine it would be pretty effective, though our whole meeting room might freeze over if you did that.
目上への敬意を忘れるな。私の大っ嫌いな鬼教官のありがたくもない薫陶よ。
Must have been a wise man. Wise man.
さあ、行くわよ鬼教官。じゃなくて第二秘書。
You were talking about me?
ほんと、生活に余裕が出ると人間って変わるのね。寝ちゃおっかな。
Oh man.
何度見返せば気が済むのよ。
Ah, 3 more. Well, at least 2.
その明細書で支払いができるわけでも、現金に変わったりするわけでもないのよ。
Come on, have a little imagination. The 25th of September. 3 weeks since the both of us joined Michihama Trading. I'd been waiting for this day for the moment I was hired, or rather, from the moment I moved into the terrace house Hinosaka. Rent, utilities, the money I owe Mitoko for all the food. Ah, it's incredible. I will even have some left for myself. It has been over a year and a half. A year and a half since I had 6-figure salary.
そんなにもらったの？ちょっと見せてごらんなさいよ。
Hey, a wage slip is not something you show it to other people.
いいじゃない別に。ほら、私のも見せるから。
No need. It's rude to pester people about their
お給料っていろいろとわけわからない名目がたくさんあるのね。一体今の私の何に対してどれだけの価値があるのかしら。見たわよね。じゃあ、あなたのも見せてちょうだい。
I would rather not.
ちょっと、騙したのね。ひどいじゃない。
Your salary, it's what's not fair. We weren't even making the same figure. Was this the power of executives?
やっぱりこれってもらいすぎなんだ。今まで無報酬で働くか、働かずにお金をもらうか、どちらかしかなかったからよくわからなくて。
I felt like I had the right to cry. Now I understand why the average person hated the phrase golden parachute so much.
さてと、これはどこに置いていこうかしら。ねえ佐々木、今週の街頭募金情報は？
Are you going to donate all this as well?
こんなお金、私にはなくても全然困らないもの。世界中に飢餓に苦しむ子供たちが何億いると思う？
She was so frivolous with money, but at least it wasn't for self-interest. She was a special kind of my lady that knew neither hardship nor vanity.
それに、これは私に対する正当な評価じゃない。そのくらいわかるわよ。
And although she knew little of society, she was eager to learn and had become much more curious and reflective over the past few weeks. I didn't know how to put it, but I have to make a phone call.
いいけど、
I couldn't help liking her. Alright, Osamu, who are you calling? Is it Mitoko? It's Secretary Yoshimaru. Good evening. I'm sorry, but could I talk with someone from the General Affairs Department? I dialed Michihama Trading on the company mobile phone I had finally received. It's Yoshimura. I have a question, if that's alright. I didn't know whether this phone call could really qualify as business, but well, it was for our managing director, so it was probably okay. If possible, I'd like to know the salary you have set for fresh college graduates. Yes, after the taxes.
お待たせしました。どうぞ吉村様。
Thank you very much.
何するつもりなの？
I was holding a light envelope with a bank's name printed on it. It was the money that had been just recently wired to our managing director's account. I had Sasaki take it out from the nearby convenience store ATM. He was even responsible for managing her personal finances. They definitely trusted him quite a bit. Well then, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
ちょっと。
I stacked a bunch of 10,000 yen notes on their car seat. Next, the 1,000 yen note. 1, 2, 3, 4. After I made a pile of 20 10,000 yen notes, I added another few 1,000 yen notes next to it. Finally, the change. 400 yen and 110 yen. Here you go. They are all yours.
何これ？
Employment insurance, health insurance, pension, income tax, and local tax are already subtracted from this sum. It's exactly what the fresh college graduate get in our company.
だから何なの？
It's the proper evaluation of the work you have done, the money that you have earned in exchange for your blood, sweat, and tears this month. And before you say anything, all untrained and employees receive this sum while they are still learning. You could say it's an investment for the future as far as the company is concerned. The sum she held in her hands right now was a mere fraction of what she previously tossed into charity boxes. In other words, this salary is the cost the company has acknowledged for having you with us. It's the money you get regardless of your position or name. So go ahead and take it without second guessing yourself. Would she nonetheless feel like returning the sum to society in the form of indiscriminate benevolence? She was just absent-mindedly staring at the sack of bills in her hands. Himeo.
はい。
And for some reason, she was being polite to me as well. How about you try using it for yourself? It's your first salary after all. Oh my.
だからね、お金が自分で買ってたまにはお世話になってるし、トコちゃんに何か買えろうかなと思って、プレゼント。何？おさむさん？
She has received her salary from her part-time job and used it to buy a present to express her appreciation for you always being there for her. I believe that's what you meant.
そうなの。いつもお世話になっております。
She's been acting pretty weird ever since we decided she should use her first salary for herself. I met her at the station on my way back and helped her decide on the present. Well, I knew the first thing she would use her money on would be a present for Mitoko. But then she completely fell apart, getting more and more confused and panicked when picking the present. In the end, she clung to me and pretty much blindly followed my recommendations. It definitely took a while. Even after we had decided the type of present she'll get, she kept changing her mind at the shop, even returning to the register 3 times after she already bought her gift. Oh my.
ひめおさん、とうとうバイト代出たんだ。ねえねえ、開けていい？
By the way, the momentary value of the present was around 1,000 yen. It was one of the factors that made her so hesitant to pick it. Mitoko, now eagerly opening the package, probably already knew what was inside. It didn't take a genius to predict what it was from its size and from under the wrapping.
英語の参考書だ。
The present that I suggested and what Himeo picked was without a doubt something Mitoko currently needed.
昔私が使ってたものの改訂版なの。
In other words, it comes from the recommendation of someone who made it to Shushen Preparatory. The textbook she was currently using wasn't particularly high level. I had already realized that it would probably be no good to us if we were seriously looking to earn a scholarship from a school like Shusen.
読みやすいし、説明も詳しいし、例文がたくさん載ってるし、少なくとも私が使った中だとこれ以上のものはないかな。
It was the last copy the shop had, relegated to a corner away from all the newer, flashier stuff they were trying to sell.
つまんないプレゼントで悪いんだけど。
I will not forget Himeo's broad smile the moment she found that copy for as long as I live.
何言ってるの？これすっごい嬉しいよ。欲しかったんだ、こういうの。よかった。なんだって言われないかって実はドキドキだったのよ。
Mitoko's genuine smile and honest words seems to have finally dispelled at least a part of Himeo's nervousness as well.
ありがとね、ひめおさん。大切に使わせてもらうからね。大切にしちゃダメよ。書き込みでボロボロにするのが正しい使い方でしょ。そっか。じゃあ一生懸命使わせてもらうね。ありがとう、トコちゃん。それとさ、もう一つあるんだけど。まだあるの？
What is it?
今度の日曜日、服買いに行かない？そろそろ衣替えだし、ね。そんな、そこまで甘えるわけにはいかないよ。これだけで十分嬉しいんだし。気にしないで。もともとそんなに高いものは無理なんだから。バイト代そんなに残ってないし。
Mitoko seemed to be slowly realizing.
ただ、初めてのアルバイト記念に トコちゃんとお揃いのものが欲しいなって。ダメかな？
That both the value and the feeling behind the present and invitation were on a completely different level compared to the souvenirs she'd been receiving up until now.
じゃあ甘えちゃおっかな。ちょっとかなりずうずうしい気がするけど。トコちゃんふわっちょっと姫穂さん
And that was why Himeo's feeling could get through to her. Meanwhile, Himeo seemed to have completely forgotten I was there and flew off into her own world, clinging to Mitoko's like a parent to her baby. Still, I just didn't feel like ruining the mood for this time. After all, it was a day that marked all sorts of firsts for Himeo. One of those uniquely eventful, memorable occasions she would always remember, the kind people only experience a precious few times during their lives. But there was one thing I felt was a bit unfortunate. It was that I seemed to have missed the timing to reveal my present. ... Oh my, well, unfortunately everyone, that's a good stopping point for today's video. Because my voice, oh my, it's hurting, I won't lie. But yeah, if you liked today's video, don't forget to drop a like. If you have any comments or suggestions, comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to be on the lookout for the next The Most Forbidden Love in the World video, the next Amagami video, and the next Rondo Leaf Love video. But as always, everyone, thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.